Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Trees, a podcast by Cedarwood Financial Partners. Excited to get back on here with another interview of a partner. He's now been with us for almost a year. I'd like
Yep,
to welcome to the show Shawn Derrick. Shawn, thanks for joining us today.
absolutely. Thanks for having me. This is a
Yeah.
new experience that never been on a podcast. I watch a lot of them on YouTube, but never been on the other side of the camera. So anyway,
Yeah, well, I don't think this will be your last because I'm excited for the world to hear your story and we could dive right into that if you don't mind with
sure.
you just kind of sharing a little bit about who you are, where you grew up, a little bit about your family, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. Yeah. I'm actually originally from the Poconos. A lot of people don't know that. My dad in the early 80s. So I was born in 75. So I'll be turning 50 this year, which is time just goes like that. Yeah, yeah, probably 7 years old. I moved to Shingle House, Pennsylvania, and we'll circle back to how I met some of the Cedarwood partners. So parents moved out of the not the rat race, but my dad. Um, he remembered the Poconos as sort of rural area, and then a lot of changes happened. A lot of people would live there, but commute to New York City, and crime was just some changes. And he wanted to raise his family in the country. So if you have to Google where Shingle House is, that's actually the name of a town in Pennsylvania, but very low population and very change of pace from where we used to be. So
Yeah, for those listening, I too thought Shingle House was where you go if you have permanent shingles, but it's not the case.
right. It's like an outlet center for roofing. So no, then grew up there. And I don't know, I don't have any roots back in, where I was originally born in the Poconos. I have just vague memories, but don't really have any family there to speak of still. So, um, but I played baseball. That's where I ran into. I've never met Todd in high school, but I played baseball a little bit with Troy and some of his in-laws, and that'll lead to how I was connected with Cedarwood later on in the story. But just kind of small town, rural living, and nothing
Yeah,
special. So.
yeah. Well, fast forward. Tell us about your family now, and what you like to do outside of the office.
Sure. I love math and music. Married for 29 years. Next year will be anniversary number 30. So we're kind of
Wow,
figuring out what we're going to
love
do
that. It's a big one.
2026. But yeah, yep. No kids. So, but my wife comes from a large family. She has 8 brothers and sisters. We're the oddballs of the group because we're the only ones without kids. All the rest of them have. I used to keep track, and I almost need like a chart to see all her her family, their children. I have probably 50 to 60 nieces and nephews total, and a lot of them are starting to be get married and have kids. It's a huge tribe. um
That is quite the tribe.
just a quick plug. It's so big for trying to get everyone together. What we've discovered is doing a family cruise every couple of years is the solution for family reunions. So plug for Royal Caribbean, because you can outsource. Like when you try to get together with someone, um,
Yeah, I'm a
you
carnival guy. That's why I
are you
responded that way.
okay? All right.
So you
CCL
can't.
versus RCL.
Yeah, I can't let you plug without a little jab back. But I
Actually, both
digress.
both stocks are doing well this year for Royal Caribbean Carnival. But anyway, yeah, large family and getting together. It used to be easier years ago when not everyone had spread out so much. We've got a lot of family down in North Carolina on Linda's side, my wife Linda, um, and my parents live in not rural, but southern PA near Harrisburg and Lancaster, PA, but in a kind of a rural setting, not near any large towns. Anyway,
Well, I know you have a story before you got into the business of what you did prior. So I'd like you just to share more
sure.
about that. What what did you do before getting in the business? And more so, I like to take every question to how did it change you going forward? But maybe
Yeah,
share some of those experiences you had before you got into the business that really shaped how you run the business now.
sure. I mentioned briefly just music and math. Those are two things, and I almost see them as the same thing, but just different expressions. Music is what math sounds like structurally. If you look at
Right.
how a chord is structured, or why a melody sounds good versus a melody that doesn't sound good. But I had a math teacher in high school that spent a lot of time. I showed some, I guess, some potential. So he did a summer program where I accelerated through um, geometry and in the summer class, and I kind of finished a lot of my math classes. Sorry, Mr. D. Some of the people know who that is, Mr. D. I did not become a math teacher, but he put a lot of time in. But that had a big impact. I really like,
Love
um,
that.
I joke with clients, like, you don't want me working on your car. Mechanical person, when you pop the hood, it looks very confusing to me, and I don't know what all the names of those things are underneath the hood of your
You and me
vehicle.
both. You and me both, brother.
But I like understanding how things work if there's a mathematical base to them. So, like, why does an annuity work? How can you price something that will pay out for life? Or how does Social Security know how much, like, how does that whole operation work? How can they pay people over life a span regardless of when you turn it on? I mean, we won't go into the details of that, but those things, some people like tearing apart an engine. I like tearing apart structure of how something works mathematically. But I would say that had a big impact on me. Prior, you mentioned, like, tell us a little bit about before getting in the financial planning business. I was in real estate for a long time. I'm a little bit hands on, so I don't mind buying a project or buying a house, but doing a lot of the work myself. So plumbing, heating, electrical, drywall. But I know what I'm good at, what I'm not good at. So it's important to not, I guess, stay in your lane. Or, I wouldn't work on an electrical service myself. But what I discovered is the thing that I liked most about doing real estate projects was the profit and loss statements and running projections, more the math type things. And
Found a way
then,
to the math, didn't you?
yeah, exactly, exactly. And back in 20, maybe 12 or 13, I heard of a financial advisor that was looking to find someone to train to be part of his succession plan. And um, so my segue for 2 seconds, my wife has a hair salon, and this person was a client. So that's how a client of the hair salon. So found out that he was looking for somebody. So I went in and talked to him, got licensed, did some interviews, and that's how I ended up starting as an apprentice, so to speak, kind of late in the game.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
But you
lot
came with a lot of experience that's really shaped how you build your business now, and you get to do more
Yep.
math, which is fun.
Exactly, exactly. I actually do like spreadsheets. I think on my bio on the Cedarwood website, I made a joke about referencing an Excel spreadsheet, but that is actually, I know you're a big golfer. I enjoy a good spreadsheet. So,
That's your love language. I can
yeah,
appreciate
pretty
it.
much, pretty much.
So you mentioned how you got in and the pivot you made from real estate. Tell us in those early years, what were some of your bigger challenges that you faced while you were growing in the business?
In the financial planning business.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Probably some of the challenges that I still face. Um, I struggle with delegating, and I like to understand a process and do it a certain way. And when I first started in the business, a lot of what I was doing, this was through a local bank. So I had multiple branches that I was responsible for, but I did a lot of the paperwork and the planning side, and a lot of the sort of, I guess you call it, the operational aspects of the financial planning. I was used to doing them by myself, because even though I was part of a succession plan, the way that the bank had scheduled our schedules were, we weren't often together. I was over here, the other advisor was over here, the support staff was at a home base. So And that's something I'm still working on, is learning how to delegate and let go. So I don't
Yeah.
have it all figured out, but that's where I'm at in the journey as far as
Yeah, I
scaling
think
up.
that's yeah. No, and that's a challenge that many advisors face as they grow in the business because in those early years it's you, right? You don't have somebody to even delegate to because you can't afford it or that's not your role your role on the team is to be the pickup of everything. And so it is as you grow and you scale, it's a hard thing to relinquish that. And so I'd venture that story and that challenge will relate to many people who are listening.
Yeah, and it's more of a habit because, like, for those of you that know who our office is, we have Tracy and Brenda. If you ever call in, and they're both excellent. And I I it's just a change of mindset of from doing a lot of things myself to building a team. I'm working right now on my own succession plan because, having been in the business slightly, I think this is near, yeah, we're approaching year 12. But I'm at turning 50, I'm just like, yeah, I need to keep my eyes open for who I want to start bringing in to train as an advisor to follow in my footsteps too. So uh got to learn to delegate and build
Yeah.
systems.
Well, what I'm hearing is that that challenge you face, while you still battle it a little bit, it's helped to shift your mindset around how you approach things in the business, which I can appreciate. Tell us a little bit more about your business. Who do you work with? Maybe what's your if you have a niche, what is that? And what's a process if somebody wanted to work with Shawn Derrick and his team? What does that
Sure.
look like?
So I'll just talk about my coworkers. So I've got Tracy Kiefer Stevens. She's actually been in the business longer than I have. She's our office manager, and that's usually who you get on the phone if you give us a call. And then we have a part-time employee named Brenda Fives. She is a remote employee in North Carolina, even though our office is in Western New York State. She did live up in this area, but we liked her so much that when she moved south, we said, "Hey, can you stay on and work remotely?" So if you ever call our office and speak to Brenda, you're talking to her down in North Carolina. But those are who is currently in our office. We're in the process bringing in a friend of mine, more of a part-time, not necessarily a consultant, but I don't know how to describe him yet because we're going to figure out his role. He's going to basically just work a day a week, but he's a certified financial planner. Worked for about 20 years in the industry and taught at Alfred State in the financial planning department.
Well,
That's a local college near us, Alfred State College. He taught there for about 10 years in the financial planning. So he's semi-retired, but we're bringing him in. And even though he's not here yet, by the time someone listens to this, he may be on part of the team as well. So that rounds out our team. I forgot what the rest of the question was. Like who? Oh,
yeah,
what
well,
work?
what clients do you work with, and what do you
Sure.
do for them?
Yep. So a lot of our clients are either near retirement or in retirement. We don't have a lot of younger people in the pipeline, which that's okay. That's just the nature of where the business is currently. Um, Part of the succession plan, if I've got another person that whether this works out or not, I won't mention his name yet because in case it doesn't work, but got my eye on somebody that might be joining the team in the near future. And the goal with that would be to start working on some of the um, younger people that aren't quite nearing the retirement. But current focus is mostly just families that are close to retirement or in retirement. Our business also, I do tax returns for a lot of our financial planning clients. We're partnered with a firm in a town about an hour away that has a CPA firm there, and they allow us to use their tax software. So I didn't have to do the all the setup. Well, in the same way that I like operating through Cedarwood, where you guys take care of a lot of the details. Same thing. I don't have to interface with the IRS and with tax software company. We just plug into the structure that they already have. So our business, in addition to planning and investment management, we focus heavily on a lot of tax planning, just
Yeah.
because it more math. That's right up my alley. And then
More math, and I think from a client's perspective, they appreciate that because it's all done by the same person that knows their finances in and out. It's the same one processing their tax return, so
yep.
nothing's gonna slip through the cracks when you do it that way.
Yes, and I like having people that are smarter than me partnered with me. So if I get into trouble, I just call up my CPA friends there that were letting us use the software. And if I run into something that's above my pay grade, I've got somebody that has the expertise
Love it.
uh, to help navigate, complicated tax question. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I've
so
learned in life it's all about who you know, right? The what you know is important, but who you know is, to me, more important because that gives you resources, and resources lead to opportunities, and it just
yep,
you can expand that impact. So,
and that's
you mentioned, yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Well, I was going to say that might be a good segue into how I ended up at Cedarwood. So
Yeah, I was gonna
my
say we talked about it a little bit. Why don't we
sure.
pull the cat out of the bag?
Yeah. So a few years ago, my business partner and I, he was approaching retirement age. So we actually talked to the Cedarwood team back in 2023 in the fall, but the timing just wasn't right. And about a year later, it ended up that my former partner retired. I didn't want to continue as a solo operation. I did a buyout. Uh, from him to buy his portion of the business. But one of the things that, even though I do like math, I don't like setting up. I don't like HR, things like that. So
I don't
thank you,
either.
Alex. Yeah, Alex, I was emailing him today. So thank you for all you do behind the scenes. Um, as part of the Cedarwood infrastructure. But yeah, I didn't want to be a solo operation for two reasons. One, I wanted the support of people that could help me handle the um I guess the support side of running a business so that I can focus just on the client side. That's what I prefer. I don't know. Um, I've seen both sides because we ran the small business when it was just my
Yeah.
former partner and I. We had a payroll company lined up, and we were doing our quarterly estimates and doing our own corporate tax return as a C corp, and um, handling all the benefits for employee benefits and meetings and making decisions. And it's nice to just offload that to Cedarwood, know that you're shopping for the best system, the best agreements with vendors and suppliers and things like that. And I can just focus on clients. Um, but yeah, when the former partner retired, made the choice to join, and how I found out that Cedarwood was a business, I volunteer with a program in the summertime called Music on the Lawn. And what that is we bring in bands to our local library front lawn outside every Thursday evening in Wellsville. So, plugging along with cruise lines, we'll plug Music on the Lawn. Actually, I have a brochure. Music on the Lawn. Anyway, a couple of years ago, Troy Vincent's in-laws were at one of the concerts outside, and they just mentioned, "Hey, Troy just joined Commonwealth, which is our broker dealer." And I'm like, I haven't talked to Troy in like decades, since the high school days. That's how I found out that you guys had joined the same broker dealer that we were currently with, and knowing that I was going to be buying out my partner and having to make some decisions, everything just really lined up. I think I was your first um, outside
You
partner.
were?
Okay. Yep. That's what I
Yep,
would.
yep. So I remember it. Obviously, we had many conversations, as you mentioned. We kind of connected a whole year before and continued conversations. But in that time, we actually had not fully completed our operating agreement. Not to get into the weeds, but we
Sure.
finished our operating agreement about a month before Sean came on board. So we were finally ready to onboard. So we are grateful that he was our first, and fits like a glove to the culture and to the family, as you can see here as we're going through his story.
Yeah. And it was great to see how you guys were building um, the foundational elements of Cedarwood as
Yeah.
we were in the process of joining your firm. So, and you gave us kind of a bird's eye view let us participate even to a limited degree, even before we were part of.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that. I
Really,
remember that.
so
Y'all were
yeah,
here for
so
that was our first partner summit after
yeah,
leaving.
yeah, and I'm truly I'm honored to be part of Cedarwood. I say that not during this interview, but I say that every time I run into you guys. But just very happy to be part of the Cedarwood team family, and
Yeah,
all that.
feelings are mutual, my friend. Um, so as we kind of move into
Sure.
the more about Cedarwood, maybe we can talk a little bit about what things you love, and you've mentioned several times how taking things off your plate, and you listened to a previous interview we did, that's one thing that we pride ourselves in is protecting the independence and giving advisors back time. So can you share an example or two of the value that Cedarwood has brought to you and your team?
Well, that would be one aspect of it. And I can reiterate some of those points. Like, I don't like having to deal with every year with health insurance changes. Like, that's what we did in the previous business when we weren't part of Cedarwood. You have to make those decisions. Meet with the wholesaler, have a meeting, look at the budget, figure out like, what can we afford for health insurance, liability insurance, insurance on um, unemployment. Just a bunch of different decisions just related with payroll. So you guys take those things off my plate. But what one benefit that I want to switch gears, I love having other people that have other specialties that I can pick their brain from or pick
Mm.
their brain about. I think, Todd is excellent with his systems and standard operating procedures or SOPs. So anytime I'm around him, I always like to glean information. I love that Frank loves portfolio construction because I have an interest in that, but I don't think that's a specialty. So just being able to sit in on the calls when Frank talks about model adjustments and knowing that I can pick up the phone and talk to somebody that has more skill set and more training in that. So that's another advantage to Cedarwood. You can't be the best at everything. Um, I'm totally blanking on his last name, but Brian that we just joined a couple months ago
Yeah, Brian
down
Bisdorf.
Bisdorf, yeah. He does something with a line of products that I wasn't familiar with. So I actually about a month ago I bought him lunch virtually in Texas for his office, and just picked his brain for about an hour and a half of how he utilizes some products that I didn't have very much familiarity with and how he implements it in his business. So that's what's awesome about Cedarwood. You meet new advisors that have niches and specialties that they've developed and they're willing to share. I mean, he probably would have talked to me even if I didn't buy lunch, but it's better to come bearing gifts, I guess. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So, Sean,
yeah,
that's an interesting thing you bring up because you were independent prior. You were part of Commonwealth, which is the same broker dealer that we're on,
yeah,
but you still didn't have somebody that you can necessarily just pick up the phone any day of the week, call and schedule that time with. You might have had peers and friends, but that's different than when you're business partners and you're a part of something bigger than yourself together.
yes.
So I'm really glad you brought that up because that is something that we take pride in is being that community of like-minded people trying to make a bigger impact in each of the communities that we serve.
Yeah, I hit up Troy. I'll hit up Tim. They'll hit me for tax questions. Another thing that just cycling back to previous questions. Another thing that I like to do in our firm, I have an interest in stock options.
Mhm.
That's kind of a specialized um, nuanced field, but math heavy, and that's probably why I like it. So, I try to be anything that I have a skill set in, I want to make available to the rest of the Cedarwood group as well. So, if I'm definitely not a tax expert, but any
You're an
time I can.
expert to me.
Well, it's all relative though. But yeah, I want to give what I have to offer, but then benefit from the experience and specialties of the other advisors. Synergy, that's probably a good word to describe that.
Yeah,
When
it's fair.
the sum is greater than the or the I'm going to butcher that phrase. we're better as a team than we are individually.
That's right. That's right. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Oh, that's good. I'm going to steal that.
It's a I think it's a Chinese proverb. I'm not sure. Don't quote me out there, people listening. Um, Sean, so we kind of talked about
Sure.
some of those benefits and the community. Um, we're huge on fulfillment, and you know that it's one of our core values. So, how has the value in both the community and the operational side? How has that brought you more fulfillment in not only your business but in life?
Um, I'll answer that question maybe from the business side and then from the non-business side. So I derive fulfillment by helping people understand what they have and what their opportunities are, and how to hit their goals financially. I love when someone walks in and they don't feel that they are ready to retire, and I can show them, hey, if we do this and this and change this and line this thing up, you can set yourself up to where you're in good shape. I just had an appointment this morning, a client that I hadn't seen. Um, for about a year, and they're looking at the things changed with their job, and they want to look at maybe taking a look at early retirement. So started the process. I have a follow up. We got to load all the information in the planning software to confirm, but intuitively things look pretty good. But that is fulfilling to me, helping take somebody that has some uncertainty and some fear about the future and show them, hey, you're actually better than you think you are. Or if you're not, I'm going to point that out and say, oh, we got to clean this up. Got to help pay off some of this debt and maybe trim some spending. But so that's fulfilling to me from the business side. As far as Cedarwood's impact on outside of the business things, I guess there's a little bit of an overlap. I like knowing that that my clients have a backup plan in case something happened to me unexpectedly. Let's say I have a health challenge or a medical issue, or I talk about death by making a joke with clients like, "What if I get run over by a reindeer this Christmas?" But if something happens, I know you guys have my back, and you've got my clients'
Guess I'm
back.
telling my kids you're Santa Claus, huh?
No. um,
Uh,
but but yeah, that's if something did happen to me, I know that there are systems in place and people in place to step in and keep the business running, to help the clients. And also, even if I haven't yet found my own personal succession plan for my own clients, as far as like hiring somebody to step into the office to train, um like right less than an hour away, Troy's office. He's got his two sons that are licensed and he's training. So he's working on the next generation. Something happened to me, I know that Troy and you guys and his sons would be there. And that is, I don't want to say it, maybe fulfilling is not the right word, but I guess, well, let's use that word. It is.
I think it fits.
I don't want to. I don't want to run a business and then be in a position where I'd be leaving people hanging.
Yeah.
So
No, I think that's fulfilling, through the
you guys,
confidence that it gives you to
yeah,
do to continue to build your business knowing that if something happens, it's gonna continue on and
yep,
that's your legacy. Yeah, love it.
yeah.
So as we begin to wrap up here, just
Sure.
been tremendous. Thanks again for sharing. Um, when you think about not just your business, not just Cedarwood, strip it all away, and what has been your biggest lesson that you've taken away from whether it's running a business or just being a human being? Like share with people. I want them to get a sense of what makes you tick and where did that come from?
Okay. This will be transparent and hopefully this comes across well, but I didn't take a direct career path into financial planning. I know there's people that right out of high school and college, they went to school for that and they went into that line of work, and they had a direct path. Had several business failures that were very painful. I mentioned I used to be in real estate. 2008, with the crash of all the banks, that wiped me out. It took about a year. I went bankrupt. I blew up a real estate business and I was over leveraged. Even There's a book, it's called When Genius Failed. It's about one of the largest collapses of a hedge fund. Um, so people bigger and smarter than I that love math can still blow things up. So I think that has made me very that's probably why I like helping with people's budgets and looking at their tax returns and looking at their spending and helping them make sure that they're set up for retirement, because I know what it's like to, before I was in the financial advisory world. This is almost 17 years ago. I blew up the 2008. Yeah, we're pushing 17 years. So um but that failure made me really get good at understanding cash flow and
Mm.
understanding cash flow projections and having backup plans and having a robust uh, source of income instead of just one place. If something blows up, I've got other sources that come in. So I sometimes, my wife picks on me, like I always have a backup plan, and then my backup plans have backup plans. So that's something that that failure I can see now as the seeds to some of the ways that I approach my business today. I can be empathetic with somebody that's gone through um, a tough spot financially too, and I can help them walk through it because I've been through that myself. So I don't know if that answered the question,
No, it's
but
brilliant answer. Powerful story from bankruptcy to brilliance, because that's what I see now. I just see a brilliant
well,
financial
working.
advisor, and I think you're right. Now you can relate and not only help them through that process, but show them what you can do as you continue just to rise up from the ashes. So
And
appreciate you the candidness there. So I like to end my interviews with a little rapid fire. So these are
oh,
going to be a couple of either or questions for you. So I'm gonna pull them up here. So the first one, and I tell people we have a hypothetical clock right above you. We'll say it's 30 seconds. Okay. So morning or night person,
night.
cat or dog?
Both, but cats currently.
Okay. Talk or text,
Talk for sure.
comedy or drama?
Probably. I hate laugh tracks, but so comedy without somebody telling me what's funny. I want to decide for
Okay.
myself.
And the last one is, who is your hero?
Huh. You know what? My dad.
Oh,
He may not know that or think he is. I got to give him more than a 30-second answer. Um, the reason we moved from this area from the Poconos to Shingle House, he wanted to get out of the city, but there's a song called Allentown by Billy Joel. And some people may not even know who Billy Joel is, but it's a song about, well, we're living here in Allentown and they're closing all the factories down. Out in Bethlehem, they're killing time, filling out forms, standing in lines. So that's, Google the lyrics to that, but that's why we moved. My dad worked for Bethlehem Steel, and in the early 80s, there was a slowdown in that segment of the economy, and he just wanted to get out of the area, but move, to a more rural area. And I saw my dad work really hard to make sure that we had food on the table and shoes, and went through some tough spots then in the early 80s. If just our family economically. My dad was my best man at my wedding too. That's who I
wow.
chose, and so I would say my dad. Dad, if
Love
you
that.
watch, I love you. Now
Dad,
he's not a
Dad and
math.
Mr. D.
What's that?
I said, Dad and Mr. D getting all the love today.
Mr. D had an impact on the math, but my dad would be somebody I look up to, and we're very different as far as our interests. He is the guy that can pop the hood of a car and tell, "Oh, you need to change the whatever," because I can hear the clicking. Like I have no idea. He's mechanical. I'm a mathematical, but
All right, Sean. So, kind of as we wrap up, I know that you mentioned math and music as the primary, but I also know how important that wife of yours is. So, I know marriage can be that 3M for you. Uh, But
that
as we
good.
kind of close here and finish the episode, if someone's considering partnering with Cedarwood, whether that's a client that is interested in joining your practice or an advisor interested in becoming your partner, what would you tell them?
You need to meet the people. So that's an obvious step, but I think when you can sit across the table from some of the founding partners of the Cedarwood team, take a trip to Texas. I know they'll come to you too. I know Todd travels, and I think you've done some trips as well with them, but
Yeah.
I don't know who all does that. If there's an advisor that's looking to join the team, but definitely take the time, go to Texas, meet some of the people behind the team, or behind the corporate structure. Yeah, you can look at a website. I know we have a section on our Cedarwood website that addresses if you're looking to join. Do your research, but I would say go do an in-person visit. That was huge for us when we saw how you got to operate as a unit.
Yeah, we'd agree. Face to face is invaluable. So, Shawn, thanks again for sharing your story, the vulnerability, the candidness. As I mentioned a few times today, grateful that you're our business partner, and look forward to a bright future together.
All
So,
right. Appreciate
with
it.
that,
Thank
that will conclude this episode of Beyond the Trees. Be on the lookout for our next episode coming soon.
you. All right. Thanks. Have a good day.